And there we go, we're live. So I'm just going to invite in a couple of friends and we'll get going for today. Bear with me 1 second. We'll put a couple of invites out and then we'll get cracking on. It's Tuesday morning. The weather is most beautiful. It's overcast as we're moving towards Christmas. So just get a few invites. Bear with me 1 second. While we get moving, just 1 second. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just putting a few invites out. Bear with me for a second, and we're up and running. There we go. Good morning, everybody. So this is the Diamond Experience. It's Team Building Tuesdays. It's 10 o'clock here in the UK. I'm quite tired this morning. My voice, excuse me, is a bit hoarse this morning. We had a fantastic live broadcast last night on a new show called The Taxi Show, which is one of the segments of the Diamond Experience, a broadcast with Umar Hussain, who's actually online now. Went down really, really well. Every Monday at 7 o'clock, we're going to be doing a slot for the Taxi Show, everything taxi. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Team Building Tuesdays. Maurice Keller, thanks very much indeed for joining. So, Team Building Tuesdays is part of the weekly broadcast schedule that I put out under the Diamond Experience. Petrus now has joined as well from South Africa. Bless you, Petrus. Thanks for joining. Once again, it's Team Building Tuesdays live on Facebook. Today, we're going to be talking about team building. We're going to be talking about how to get a team up to speed and really go for it. Today's topic is about training. Now, before everybody cuts off and says, oh, it's training. This is something you really got to listen to. It's very, 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 very important. And I tell you why. Every single team that I've ever built or grown, whether it be for my own company or whether it be for working with clients as a business coach, do you know one of the most important things about team building is training? And I'm going to explain why to you during this call. It's going to be a 30-minute call, so if you've got time, absolutely fantastic. If you're watching on replay, no problem at all. Please do come back and watch during the replay. But here's the thing, you know, every single team that I've built, and especially within the sales sector and the sales growth sector, has been about the training that I've given them, the training time that I've given them, the training that they've enjoyed, and I'll underword the line enjoyed because it's absolutely, you know, and vitally important. Now, please do, as always, during the broadcast, this broadcast and all the broadcasts that I do are created and delivered to help you as an individual, but also as to help you gain exposure for your business and what you do. So please feel free and be comfortable to post links in the comment boxes, who you are, where you're from, and indeed, you know, what you do, what your company is. So please don't be afraid to broadcast that to the world. Equally, everybody that likes, shares, and comments on my video, if you've not received it already, for anybody that likes, shares, and comments, I'll give you a free copy of my book, which is called Get Up, Sharp, and Shine Up. Now, let's get into the training. This is so important because so many people that are building teams, you know, last week we did the rah-rah of a team and how to build the team, the motivation, the energy and drive, and the focus and understanding the sort of psychology of the team. But training is the most important aspect of what you can do for your team. Training is the most important aspect. Now, there's a few things you've got to consider about training, and there's a few things that you'd need to adapt, adopt, and learn about training if you're going to be the person that's going to be delivering the training. Jake Turner Coombs, thanks for joining. So the first thing is this, that with any team, and it doesn't matter whether your team is just starting out or your team is already established, training, hi Serpa, good morning to you from the UK to Finland. Training is most important for any team, and I'm going to explain why. You see, as individuals, when we come into a business or an organization, we come into a business because we've seen an advert for a job, or we've met you as an MD and we've seen your company. Bless you, thanks so much indeed for the thumbs up. We've seen you as a company and we want to engage and we want to come and work for you. But that's the easy part. Good morning, Jake. Good morning to you, buddy. Nice to see you. That's the easy part, isn't it? Really getting someone through the door. But it's what you do then. Now, I give you an analogy that you can buy a car, but unless you're trained in how to drive that car, actually, you know, you can't pass your driving license, driving test, can you? But in driving a car, and I'm just going to use this analogy, so bear with me. In driving this car, when you first start out, and if you think back to when you're 17, you don't have the experience of road conditions, motorways, off-road, hills, different types of traffic, people jumping out in the roads, pedestrians around you, other drivers driving at different speeds, driving safely, driving maybe dangerously, ice on the road, rain on the road. Everybody thinks when they're 17 that they are the best driver in the world. And I can remember getting my license when I was 17. And obviously, you think you're a great driver. You only become a great driver through driving distances and covering, let alone driving from the UK to other countries, which I've done. And many of you would have driven from Europe back to the UK, etc. Excuse me. So you only gain that experience by driving your car through all these different weather conditions, right? And when you drive, you're learning all the time and experiencing different feelings in a car. Then you start to carry passengers, and you're responsible for those passengers in your car. Now, you as a business owner, Kalpesh Patel, good morning, my brother, how are you? You as a business owner, you are providing them, your staff, your team, a car essentially. Now, first of all, you've got to be driving that car. You've got to be training that team. You've got to be the driving instructor within your business. But actually, when does the lesson, the training lesson for your team stop? Alex, even grown, thank you very much indeed for joining. When does that training stop for your team? It doesn't. So I want you to consider this, that training, it doesn't matter whether your team is at startup stage or whether it's at experienced or accelerated growth stage, training has to be a core part of your business. Now, so many people shy away from training because they think, oh, it's it's the same old, I'm just training and they're not growing. You have to come up with unique training sessions. So let's just take a sales team, for example. You have to come up with different training aspects, and you've got to get them used to training. Staff, first of all, I think training, it's more training, I don't really want to go. It depends on the trainer, it depends on the topic, and it depends on the delivery and what they take away from it that they can use in their business. Now, I'll give an example. I'm training a sales team. They're an established team, and their sales figures are slightly down. So I go in and I start training. Now, at first, there's 12, 15 people sitting around the table, and some of them are disengaged, and they're like this, they're not interested in the training, and they know it all, and who's this guy? But 3, 4, or 5 of the people, they're open for training because they want to better themselves. Remember, we speak about the traffic light effect within people in your business, the greens, the ambers, and the reds. So you've got to understand, first of all, that different people are going to engage with you at different times. The people that's going to engage with you will either be the greens, which are open, and they're absolutely open. They're a sponge for training. They want to engage. Melanie Grobin, good morning to you. Don't forget, please do post in the comment box. If you like what I do, like, share, and comment on the video, and I give you a free copy of my book, Get Up, Sharp, and Shine Up. And that also helps me to grow, and it helps you to grow as well, believe it or not. For the world, it's smaller than you think, which is tomorrow. So you need to understand 3 types of people when you're training to somebody: the greens, the ambers, and the reds. The greens will engage. They want training. They're up for it. The ambers, they kind of take training, but they sit on the fence until they see real value. And the reds are the people that think, actually, I don't need any training. I'm the best that I can be. The truth is that every single person needs training and ongoing training to keep them sharp. So the sales team, there's 12, 15 people sitting there, and I start delivering training. I know straight away in the room who's engaged with the training. And let's talk about you being engaged in trainer just in 1 second, because if you're a boring trainer that's not giving value to people, if you're a trainer that's actually not making people say, oh my God, yeah, this is interesting, I can use this, then we've got to work on you as a trainer. But let's assume for the minute that you know how to train, you know how to engage, you know how to get your audience to wake up and to be engulfed and immersed into the training experience, right? So I'm talking to this team. A third of the team are listening, they're engaged, and they're like bunnies pricked up, and they're listening to me because it's making sense, because they want to bring this training into their business to improve their sales, to improve their revenue, to improve their income. Carol King, thanks for joining. Heinz L. Dahl, thank you very much for joining. Then another third are just sitting there patiently waiting to see what happens. That's the Amber Brigade. And you've got a third sitting there that are the Reds that really don't want to engage. They don't want change. They're happy with what they're doing. They can't see any benefit. But as a trainer, you must see through, and you must persist in your delivery for training, because one, you've got to believe in yourself as a trainer that you're going to give great value. Two, you've got to set the tone of why you're offering the training. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for coming to this training session today. And this is talking to the sales team, for example. Now, the point being is this, that currently the company's target is X amount of pounds per month. We're currently achieving 75 to 80% of target, which means inside the team sitting on this table right now, some of you may be hitting 100% of target, some of you may be hitting 70 or 80% of target, and some of you may be hitting 30, 40 or 50% of target. Now, let me just ask you a question before we start. Forget about the training that we've got today and what we're going to cover. If I could show you a way to train you and to coach you and to give you some really fantastic tools that's going to help you get your sales target to 100% and above, so above target performance, would you be very keen to listen to what I've got to say? Then all of a sudden, out of 15 people, you've probably got 6 or 7 people putting their hand up saying, yeah, I'd be keen to listen. So the first thing is you've got to get them to engage in the reason why you're training them. You're there to train them to improve their sales figures, their sales performance. Now, what's in it for them is that if I sell more, I'm going to earn more, because most sales teams are on a commission basis, a basic plus commission. As soon as you give them the idea that they can earn some more money, they're bought into that. Hi, good morning to you, Marissa Salvatore. Thank you very much indeed. Ben Chai, thank you for joining. Good morning to you all. So once they've bought into that, then you've got to now deliver and show them valuable tools. So then what you've got to decide is this. Hi, Adil Sami. Then what you've got to decide is this. Look, you know, so now that you understand that why I'm here to do the training, we're going to be doing this regularly each week. We're going to be taking you and helping you to move from your current sales performance to the level of 100% plus or over target performance, okay? And that's what our intention is. Now, I'm going to stick with you. And training is like a piece of rope. And I always say this to people, it's like a piece of rope. I will be with you and stand with you and coach you and train you and inspire you. I'll even come out in the field with you and show you how to apply these techniques for building your pipeline, for selling, for booking appointments, for delivering a really effective presentation, for understanding that we solve customers' problems rather than selling a product or service, how to maintain a really professional relationship with your customer base, how to prospect to increase the amount of potential leads that you've got within your pipeline, how to actually close a deal to welcome a customer on board, and how to look after that customer so they're going to be happy to refer you to their friends and family. Now, over the next 6 weeks, this is what we're going to be doing. One, I'm here to help coach and train you. So I'm talking to this team of people to help you bring your target to 100% or more. In fact, I'm absolutely certain that one of you in this room is going to be hitting 200% of target. And then I'll look at them. Now all of a sudden they're thinking, my gosh, where's this guy? What's he talking about? Now I've taken people to 3, 4, 500% the target, but that's not the point. They don't know that when I'm sitting there, but I believe in my training and delivery because I go all in. I go all in and understanding the psychology of the individual. I go all in to understand the business, and I immerse myself within the world of possibility of what I can train them. And I've been known actually for running teams where other team managers will say, listen, can I send somebody down to your branch or to your team for you to train them because, you know, your training's out of this world? And I say, yeah, sure. Even though I don't earn money from it, I have an open mind as to growth within a business. So I'd say, yeah, come on down. So I create a training culture. And you've got to consider doing this, create a training culture. It doesn't matter what your team is, who your team is, and where they are. You've got to instill into them in training and development. Because let me ask you this. If you're a company director and you're a great trainer, or you're employing someone to be your trainer, what do you want as a result for your company? You want 1, sales. You want 2, a really fantastic team that delivers above target. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. And above all, you want profitability. So that's what you want as an MD. So when I'm coaching and training, I know that I've got 2 types of customers here. I've got the managing director of the company that's actually said to me, Bradley, I want you to come down and train this team and get them in shape and above target. And I've got the team that I'm training to get them to target. Of course, there's the customers that they've got. But for me, I've got 2 customers. 1, I've got to take the sales team and move it forward. 2, I've got to make sure the MD says, oh my gosh, we've hit target. The MD is going to be relieved because he's on target. Then the next thing the MD says is, well, what can you do now? Now you've hit target. What can you do now? The team are now saying, well, I've hit target. I can't believe it. I've got to 100%. Now, I always say within the training session, like I'm saying to these 12, 15 people, I'm going to get every single one of you through to target. I'm going to get every single one of you through to 100% of target or more. Would you like that? If you could achieve 100% by the end of this month, would you be pleased? Yes, I would. Okay, well, this is what it's going to take, okay? Because it's a two-way street. It's a two-way commitment. Now, this is what I say to them. First of all, we're going to be like holding a length of rope. Now, I'm going to pass you the rope right now. I say, hold your hands out. Yeah, it's an imaginary rope, but bear with me. Work with me, people. I'm going to give you all a rope in your hand right now. Everybody hold on to that rope. And again, you've got the 3/3 of psychology of people within the team. You've got the greens who put their hands out immediately and they've already got their hands around this rope. You've got the ambers who are a little bit resistant, but they'll do it. But they're not obnoxious resistant. They're just a little bit shy and coming forward, but they'll become a green. And you've got the reds that are like, oh, what are we doing this game for? I can't see it. So you've got to accept that as a trainer that you're not going to get to everybody. Then I say to them, listen, you hold on to that rope. I'll hold on to this end. As long as you hold on to your end of the rope, I'll hold on to my end of the rope. And whatever happens, we won't give up. I won't give up helping you to get to 100%. Is that fair enough? Yeah. Now, if you let go of your rope for one moment and you stop applying and you stop learning and you stop really fighting to achieve your target, then should I keep hold of my end of the rope or should I let mine go? Well, yeah, you should let yours go. I said, yes, I should, but I won't let it go because if you fall off the first time, I'll say to you, get back onto the road because the training program must continue because we agreed you want to hit 100% the target. So once everybody's committed in the room and they're bought into achieving their target, that's when you go to work. So the first thing is setting the parameters of the training course that you're delivering or the series of training, why you are doing it, what's in it for them, how it's going to play out and lay down, okay, that you're going to be there for them, that their benefit is they're going to get to target. The MD's benefit is that he's going to have peace of mind with his team hitting 100%. Then you start going through the training agenda and what you're going to be covering. And as I said, look, for a sales team, you know, it's cold calling, it's canvassing, it's prospecting, it's learning how to book and set an appointment. It's then going from booking and setting an appointment to making an effective presentation, through to closing, through to follow up, through to reclosing, through to bringing a client on board and how you should treat that client and look after that client, and then account management. Now, of course, it depends on your team, whether it's a new business team, whether it's a key accounts team, whether it's a national team, or whether indeed it's a self-employed, you know, direct sales field team, whatever the case may be. And you've got to adjust this training to suit that. But let me tell you this, as a trainer, you take responsibility, like I told you about the story when you're driving a car, that you're going to be putting people in the car and you're going to be driving that car and showing them how to drive it. So when you get out of that car, just using this analogy, they've got to be comfortable that they can drive the car, that they can go to work, that they know how to prospect. You'll also cover things like time management. You'll cover things like energy and effort and passion. So not only the fundamental things that a sales team actually physically needs to be able to achieve success in their job, you'll also work on their personal motivation, their dress code, the way that they look. And I'll give you an example. When somebody goes into a business that's representing your company, got to make sure you got polished shoes. It's the first thing. Make sure your shoes are polished. Make sure your trousers are pressed. Make sure your suit looks okay. Make sure your shirt is clean. Make sure you look professional. Okay? Make sure you look clean because somebody will look at that. Your customer, your potential customer will be looking at that. So set the training across the tangible foundations of their skill, right? Their skill within the business. And you train them each week on different segments, bite-sized segments that they can take away and use in the field. The second thing is working on their hygiene, their personal hygiene factors in terms of the way that they come across, their attitude, the way that they treat others. So you must set. Good morning to you, Lawrence Thompson. How are you doing, buddy? It's great to see you. Thank you very much indeed for joining. So you must make sure that your team is bought into training. You have to commit to making sure you do the training, and you've got to make sure that they see the value in it in terms of why they come into training. Now, this will grow. The more training sessions that you give and the greater the benefit the team sees, all of a sudden those 12 to 15 people there'll be more of them putting their hands up once they see a benefit. Even the reds in the sales team, which are the people that are, you know, I'm the top sales professional and I don't need no training, even he will actually, excuse me, buy into the training. And then you start using the top professionals and give them a little slot for 5 or 10 minutes to talk about their experiences, because they want to talk actually about their success. These reds, the top salespeople, let them talk about their success if they feel happy to share it. It makes them feel great and valued as well. So even the reds in the team that don't feel that they can benefit from training will actually benefit from training. So let's talk about you now as a trainer, because we've all been in training sessions, right, where the trainer is pants, right? The trainer is useless. The trainer doesn't know how to engage a team. The trainer doesn't know, and he couldn't light a fire with a box of matches, right? And he couldn't find desert in the sand. You've met some trainers before. I know I have, where I'm thinking, oh my gosh, damn, get off the stage, brother. Get off the stage, brother. Let me up there, because damn, this audience is falling asleep. He's talking about training and the audience is like this. You know, they're passed out through boredom. The thing about training is this: when people sit down, you've got to realize that you've got to keep them energized. So if you are training, break regularly for 5 minutes to let the brain think. So if you're doing a long training session, if it's a day session or an induction course, let them break for 5 minutes on every hour. That's my humble opinion. Maximum, I'm sorry, maximum 90 minutes. Make sure you get them up. You get them to walk about, take a smoke break, take a tea break, grab a coffee, take a pee break, because the more that they get up on every hour, just for a quick 3 or 4 minutes, and then come back down, they're refreshed and reset. If they sit in the chair for too long, then they may not be absorbing and taking things on board, and they'll appreciate the break every 5 minutes. And it also gives them a chance to go out and chat to the team. What do you think of the training? Yeah, I think it's absolutely great. I was, oh, I think it's crap. I think it's shit. So you want to become a trainer that knows how to deliver. Now, we can do another broadcast on becoming an effective trainer, learning how to engage your team, how to maximize the opportunity for your team to have a great takeaway value. But the point being is this: 1, you have to be engaging. 2, you've got to be an expert and know what you're talking about. In other words, you need to have done it. So when I'm sitting and I'm talking and I'm coaching sales teams, whether I'm coaching sales teams, sales managers, or sales directors or company directors, I've done it. I've experienced it, and I don't mean that in a kind of egotistical way. It's not meant like that. But I've carried the bag. I've been in direct sales. I've been a field sales agent. I've been a regional manager. I've been a regional director. I've been a UK director. I've been an international director, and I've grown teams of up to 400 or 500 people. So I know what it takes to go through that process. And as a trainer, your job is to spot talent. Is to spot talent, to coach that talent, and to build their skill, their knowledge, and their attitude. Now, here's the other thing as a trainer. Just because you've trained in the classroom doesn't mean to say that your training stops there. If you can, and like I do, I'll go out with a day, a field accompaniment day. I'll go out on the road, or I'll spend the day internal if the team's internal. I'll move around the different staff so they get a piece of me. I'll even say to them, listen, give me a presentation case. Let me lead this presentation. Would you allow me to do that? Well, Brad, you're a coach and trainer. Do you know how to present? I said, well, it's not the point. The point is that I can, and I'll just do it, and I'll do it to my best of my ability. Let's see where we go with it. All right, yeah, I'd love to see you in action. And then after the presentation, the team was, oh my gosh, that was an amazing presentation. How did you learn this stuff? Because, you know, you've just come into this business training for us. How do you know this stuff? I said, well, I practiced. I looked at what was available. I looked at the client. I looked at the marketplace. I did some research on the sector. So when I went in, 1, I knew what I was talking about. 2, I understood some of the challenges that customers are facing, some of their problems. And I asked them questions with my fact find to try and understand some of the pains they're experiencing, because all I'm thinking is, if I can solve that customer's pain, if I can solve that customer's problem, if I can solve that customer's challenge with the product or service that we're offering, and she likes us as a company, she likes us as presenters and account managers and what we stand for, there's a great chance we're going to win the business here. So 1, training with your team. It must be done regularly. Build a training program. Not only that, the training room that they enter into, it should be a sales training or a general training Wikipedia, whether it's sales, whether it's account management, whether it's funding, finance, whether it's manufacturing, the training room, I used to call myself, it's like the circus training room. When they walk in there, they didn't know where to look because there was training, inspirational quotes everywhere. There was the scripts everywhere for the company. There was the rewards and recognition of success. It showed career path, people moving forward in the business. When they came into that training room, it was like, wow, it was a den of training iniquity. And when they walked through those doors, they knew it was to improve their skill, their knowledge, and their attitude. So I call it SKA. Their skill is how they can pick up their tools and go to work. Their knowledge is what they know about the customers and about the business that they're employed in. And their attitude is what they think they are, what they think they can do, and how far they're prepared to drive to reach their level of success. So I call it SKA. And they're three very different levels of training, ladies and gentlemen. Three very different levels of training, because you can have the best skill in the world and the best knowledge in the world, but if you haven't got, my microphone's going nuts here, if you haven't got the right attitude, if you've not got the right attitude, it doesn't matter. You're not going to win. Nobody likes somebody with a stinking attitude or a bad attitude or an attitude that borders on narcissism or, you know, sociopath. And they are out there, of course. So you've got to make sure your team's got the right attitude. So when you're training, think about the skill of your team, think about the knowledge of your team, think about the attitude, and train within those three brackets continuously, day in and day out. Formal training for an hour or two within specific days, but then also you've got a phone. You can communicate with your team. I used to send a lot of text messages on the phones. Everybody was in the group or a WhatsApp group. Congratulations, Fred. Fred has prospected over 150 new prospects today. He didn't have any appointments booked, but he went out and he prospected over 150 new prospects. Very proud of you, Fred. You really did tear up the shoe leather this morning. And out of those prospects, you come straight back to the office. You made a decent level of engagement and spoke to a third of them. A third people, they weren't in, but you've got the details, and another third people, you've just got basic name, contact details. Now we're going to get to work on that prospecting. So break down your prospecting into different sections within the skill, different sections within knowledge, different sections within attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, training is so important, and never stop. Never stop training. It's something that is so vital. It is so important that you continue to train and develop your people for them to come in every month, you know, 100% a target. You know, a few years ago, as I spoke before, I worked for a company called Office Depot, which is an American company, and I picked up a regional team. And this regional team, when I went in, only 2 people were hitting target, but they were very selfish. They were cherry pickers, and my aim was to get every single member through target to 100%. And I said to them when I started, I'm going to get every single one of you through 100%. You've got to put in the effort. You've got to put in the work. But I promise you, every single member of this team is going to go through 100%. As long as you hold one end of the rope, and one end of the rope, I'll hold the other end. And I promise you, we will train, we will coach, and we will do this together side by side. And we'll get you all through target. And the first month, 7 of them through target. The next month, 9 of them through target. And by the 3rd month, every single person in the business, including new starters, over 100% of target, some at 200 to 300% of target, and we went on to win the chairman's global circle. So training is so important, but you've got to think about yourself as a trainer and how you come across. You've got to think about them in the room and how engaged they are with you. You've got to think about why you're training. You've got to think about the constant performance that's needed for people to achieve at the top of their game. And it doesn't matter whether it's sales or marketing. Everybody has to have a KPI, a key performance indicator. Ladies and gentlemen, Alistair McWilliam joined us, and hey, Karen Whitelow-Smith has joined. Hey, Karen. Mwah, 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 mwah. Karen's got a really fabulous business, which was relaunched recently, which is called I Love My Life Academy. Beautiful opportunity. Go to ilovemylifeacademy.com and have a chat with Karen Whitelow-Smith, who's on right now. Amazing programs, amazing lady, experienced globally, amazing author as well. Alistair McWilliams, William, thank you very much for joining. So, ladies and gents, please do like, share, and comment if you like what we do. Check out my broadcast when we're going live and what we do. I do a lot of business live interviews on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesdays and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. There's not an interview tonight, so I'll just be going online to do a sort of CEO hour. But Wednesday, tomorrow night, we've got Lawrence Thompson, who's online right now. Lawrence Thompson is an amazing guy from Tennessee. Thursday night, we've got online a really amazing guy called Luke Scott, who's helps speakers to speak on stage. I've got some breaking news as well, ladies and gentlemen. An interview that I did a few years ago when I owned Raw Business Magazine was a guy called Brad Sugars. Brad Sugars is the CEO of Action Coach, which is one of the world's largest coaching firms, with over 1,800 coaches in about, I think, 30 countries around the world. He's an amazing guy. I've confirmed him as an interview for the 31st of October, and I'll be putting that up on live, and that'll be a great interview to watch, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to appear on the Diamond Experience show in one of my business interview hours, just send me a message on Facebook. Hey, Brad, listen, would you be interested in doing an interview slot? Let's have a chat. Let's find out what you do. Everything business, everything motivation, everything skill, knowledge and attitude, whether it's business or life experience. I want to hear from you. Absolutely. If you want to find out more about me, please go to bradleychapman.com. I have a full range of coaching services. What I do on Facebook and social media is free to engage the audience, and it's a pleasure to meet you all. And thank you for coming online. If you want to find out more about my coaching services and how I can help you, yeah, please feel free to visit bradleychapman.com. But for yourself, please post a link in there, what business you are, what you do, where you're from. And remember, the world is smaller than you think. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for taking time this morning. It's just over 30 minutes. We've been live now. We've been talking on Team Building Tuesdays. And today we've been talking about train, train, train. I hope you enjoyed the experience. Thank you very much indeed for the hearts flying across the screen there, dear brother Jake Coombs. Thank you so much. Jake Turner Coombs, bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, have a fabulous day. And remember, be everything you can. It's your time to shine. This is the Diamond Experience. I'm Brad Chapman. Thank you all, and God bless you. And I'll see you this evening at 7 o'clock on the live. Take care now. See you guys. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Thank you.